Hey guys, my name is Sean Hayes. I know we haven't repeated our names in a while, but my name is Sean Hayes.
Yeah, this is Jason Bateman. Just to be clear, I got to get dressed. We're about to start, right?
Yeah. But in case people don't know what the show's like one of us brings on a guest, the other don't know about it. It's a surprise. What do we got?
And I'm Will Arnett. Is it my turn yet? Sorry, I'm Will Arnett, and welcome to SmartLess.
SmartLess.
Do you want to see a great photo I got? Do you like photos?
Oh, yeah, that was today's golf outfit. I went with the light pants today because it's warm out here in Los Angeles.
Look at Jason. Jason's wife, Amanda, sent this to me.
Yeah.
Dancing in the morning.
Is that you, Jay?
Well, I was happy about my outfit. Just looked great. You know, I was happy that
those particular pants, you've worn them before, and I got to say, they're not my favorite.
Oh.
They're not.
Is there a compliment on the end of it?
Because they're white?
You look great, first of all, you don't look bad in them. I said they're not my favorite. I
right.
Don't like
I know.
That front piece. It kind of looks like a...
That's a penis.
No.
That's what we call it.
The front penis?
You know,
the front piece. You mean the...
It's kind of like a fold over. It almost looks like a formal slack.
Right. Yeah, it is. I think it is a bit of a trouser that they make there.
Yeah.
Sorry, listener. Just going over latest golf.
Hang on, I'm trying to put this into
fashion.
Sean, just so that Sean can feel included.
I came on a little late today.
You did come on late. What's going on? You're still in the city.
Still in the city. Had to change. Don't you have to change clothes like 2-3 times a day because the humidity is just... Oh, you walk outside. I'm just drenched in sweat.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing outside? Why don't you stay inside? You have a beautiful apartment.
He's walking around, man.
Yeah, no, I tried to because it's air conditioned in here.
Is it real humid back east right now?
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievably humid right now.
Yeah.
It's humid out here, so it must be terrible out there.
Oh, because it travels.
So then, Sean, what do you? So you and Scotty, you pop out of the apartment and you just start walking around. Do you have some favorite places you like to go to?
Well, we do. I mean, there's one restaurant.
Do you bring misters? Do you guys bring misters?
No, we bring misses.
Just to clean.
No, there's one French restaurant we like on the east side. Oh, this is what I did for the first time in my entire life. I walked through Central Park.
What, first time ever?
What are you talking about? First time ever?
Oh, I get real.
I mean, I walked like, just from, like to that restaurant that I can't remember.
Tavern on the Green?
That's it. Yeah, Tavern on the Green. I walked there once, but I never walked from like Upper West Side all the way through it, all the way down. It's kind of scary because they have, in the center, they have all those paths that go in like 10,000 different directions.
Oh, granddad.
But then, yeah. And
did
there's like...
Did you see the skating rink over there too?
I did, yeah. The roller skating rink. It was a roller skating rink.
No, in the summertime.
Ma, you can't believe how big it is.
Mama.
Well, they had people walking everywhere, and people just seemingly going. They were busy.
It was wild.
Just walls and walls of buildings.
We used to when I was first living in New York 45 years ago, and I was very broke. We used to just walk through the park because we had nothing else to do, and it was free. And we just have a head full of rope, and we just walk around with shades on.
That's weed,
giggling.
listener. Weed.
Yeah,
head full of. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Head full of rope.
Yeah, and we just walk around and sit on the grass and, I don't know, maybe smoke some butts and like just walk over a different part. Yeah, because it was free. We had nothing to do, and we were broke. But it was great. I love Central Park.
Do you guys go to a chiropractor? Because all you do is walk, right, in New York? And my back is fucking killing me.
What kind of shoes you got right now? Here, by the way, this is an opportunity for you to get some new shoes.
Are
you ready?
Speak smartly here.
Speak a brand right now. What do you want? What do you like?
I forget what they're called. We all have them. They're called
the On shoes. Those
you
Swiss
might
ones?
need like leg braces or something if you're blowing your back out just walking.
How would you feel about a wagon and then Scotty pulls it? Would you sit in a wagon?
Look, I'm not above it.
You've seen the dogs with the blown out backs?
Yeah.
Right? With the little carts?
I would walk around.
What about a Segway?
Yeah, what about a Segway?
What about once you get electric bikes and park them in your apartment?
I think we have to do bikes. I think it'd be kind of fun.
Get bike. But you're coming out here tomorrow.
Yes.
And hopefully
And
we'll
by the
go
way,
for a
Will,
bike ride.
honestly, you don't we'll come in, you don't have to do anything. We'll just
No. You're going for lunch at our friend. You're going for lunch at our friend's house, and then you're going to look around, and then we have a dinner tomorrow night.
Perfect.
And
then we leave first thing in the morning.
Chappie's here. Chappie's on his way here. He's in. Bob is here. And my sister is here right now with my brother-in-law, Ed.
It's a house full.
Yeah. Except
it's gonna be a lot of fun. Hey, Jason, have fun, eh?
Yeah. So you got everybody there except me, I guess.
Yeah. Why didn't you come out, Jay, and then just go down? I know,
you should come out.
Because we've got other plans, okay?
All right, well.
We're doing other things.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are going on a different vacay, which I don't know.
Finish the sentence?
I don't know why you don't come out to where we are. All your friends are out here is what I'm saying.
It's not up to me. I'm not living in a dictatorship. This is a democratic house, and there's a lot of complications to our trips.
Maybe that's your problem.
As you know.
It's, by the way, that's the thing is you think it is a democracy. You do live in a dictatorship. The problem is you're not the dictator.
That's
so funny.
It's true.
Speaking of dictator, terrible segue because it does not apply to this person at all. But I will say this is somebody I'm really excited. I'm excited because, Sean, I can't wait to see how excited you are. Because this is going to hit you right in a sweet spot.
Must be an athlete.
Right in a sweet spot for you. And also for me, he's been in a lot of films that I just absolutely love. I remember his first film. I'm not going to say the title yet. I think it was his first film, maybe a second film, but the first film that really had a lot of sort of wide acclaim with went on to be a very famous director as well. And I remember thinking like, this guy, he just has... I don't know. I can't not watch him when he's on screen. He's got that thing. You know, there's certain performers who have that. He's got that thing where you're just like, you're glued to and you're with him on everything he says, no matter the role. This is this guy. He's won Emmys and he's won Golden Globes and he's been a globe trotter in that he's gone around the globe on his motorcycle. He's an incredible actor. He is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ewan McGregor.
What?
I got it right on the motorcycle.
My God. How's it going?
Wait, why is Ewan McGregor in Sean's wheelhouse?
What are you talking about?
Sean is the most massive Star Wars fan of all time.
Are you joking me?
Oh, right. I was thinking song and dance.
What did you think? Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, Ewan. Oh my God, this is so cool to meet you.
How are you doing? I'm so nerve-wracking. I don't know why I'm so nervous.
Why?
Don't be nervous.
Sean does that to everybody. It's weird.
You have nothing to be nervous about. We are absolute fools, and there's nothing to this show. It's idiocy.
It's titled appropriately.
You're immediately the smartest guy in the room.
Scotty, come over.
Oh yeah, here comes Scotty.
No, don't worry about it.
Scotty's gonna lose it.
Do you know who's the guest is?
Just let him look and don't tell him.
Look at that is.
Oh my God.
That's my husband.
Ewan McGregor, welcome, man.
This
Welcome.
is so cool.
What an honor to have you here on the show, man.
Well, it's such a great pleasure for me to be on.
I was just an
This is
enormous
so
fan
cool.
of yours, buddy.
Do you know Trainspotting is one of my favorite movies of all time?
Oh,
What has
thank
he
you.
done that has been bad? Well,
Nothing.
you answer that.
Wait, hang on. But
Yeah.
I was going to start with this. That film I'm talking about, Ewan, is Shallow Grave, of course.
Of course.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit how that came together and what that experience was like and where met you in your life at that time, that film?
Yeah, it was the first film I ever made. You were right. Is this good? This
Yeah,
sounds
Yes.
good?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay. You were right. It's the first film I ever made. I'd left drama school and I did a 6-month shoot on a Dennis Potter series called Lipstick on Your Collar. So I sort of got out of drama school and straight in front of a camera for 6 months, which was amazing, like training, if you like, in that respect. And then I did a play, and then I did a period drama called The Red and the Black. And then I went for an audition for this film called Shallow Grave. So I'd done a couple of things on television, and
But did you know Danny Boyle before that?
No, I didn't know any of them. And they were really very much like a three-person team. Danny, the director, of course, and then Andrew McDonald was the producer and John Hodge, the writer. And the three of them were very much like a creative team, like really, truly they were.
And was Trainspotting the same team?
That was them, yeah. And so that's when I met them the first time. And I was just lucky I was so hungry and so fucking like, let me at it. You know, I felt like I'd been ready for a long time, you know? And
Yeah.
And then I got on we shot it so quick. We built that apartment in Shallow Grave in a factory in Glasgow, you know, and it was all, it was so, Brian Tufano shot it, who went on to shoot Trainspotting and Life Less Ordinary, and he's a brilliant cinematographer.
I auditioned for A Life Less Ordinary.
Did you really?
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And for Danny Boyle, I was so nervous. I just moved to Los Angeles, and in the scene, he's supposed to throw keys at me. So I brought keys to act like they were just thrown at me, and he threw me his set of keys. So then I had 2 set of keys in the scene.
Did you know that he was going to do it though? He might have hurt you.
No,
if he
I
threw
didn't.
Wow,
I
that's
didn't know
risky.
he was going to do it.
So,
was a
and
risk.
how was the shoot, Sean? How was the shoot?
I didn't get it.
So I'll bet you were great on the audition, but but I would imagine that those guys that you also got the job also because it seems like you kind of fit in with their kind of fabric. They just seem like good dudes like you. And did that kind of bring about Trainspotting as well? I mean, aside from your talent.
Yeah. It was interesting because it was all of our first movies. You know, Danny had been a director in the theatre for years, and I think that's why he's so very good, you know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And this was his first movie, and Andrew's first movie, and John was a doctor who wrote this brilliant script about these people. I guess he trained in Edinburgh, so he knew about, like, Edinburgh life and living in that city. And, it was just the most amazing experience. But I felt like it was like the other things I'd done. You know, I did that period drama, and I'd done that Lipstick on Your Collar was set in the 50s, and it was all single camera work anyway. So it felt much the same until I saw it. And I saw what they'd been doing, you know, visually, and what the shots that Danny and Brian dreamt up. And it sort of felt like, it really felt like we'd sort of made a mark on British cinema. That's how it felt when it came out.
Yes, you did.
And then we took it to, we went to, it was my first adult trip to America. We came to Sundance with it. And I'd been in the States when I was 9 with my parents, which was ridiculous. Nobody comes to America for holidays. It's too big of a deal, you know. But when I was 9, we came over. So this was my first time back as a sort of grown-up. And I went to Sundance with Shallow Grave, and they gave me the script there for Trainspotting.
Oh, my God.
And they always,
cool.
he said, it was very, like, we're not offering you this, and it's not an offer, and just, you know, we just want to know what you think of it. And so I read that on the plane. I was like, fucking hell, I mean, it's the role of a lifetime, isn't it? It's like one of the great leading roles. And, but John, I think I'm right in saying, John didn't think I was right for it, because in the novel, in Irvin Welsh's novel, Ewan McGregor, who played Spud, had played Rents in the stage version before we made the movie.
It was a play? Trainspotting was a play?
It was a novel first, and then they made a play of it, and Ewan McGregor was in the play as Renton.
Wow.
And in fact, he's much better casting in terms of the Renton that's written in the novel, you know? He's much more Ewan Bremner-esque than me-esque. So I think John wasn't quite convinced, and I had to do it, you know? So I went away, and I just lost loads of weight. I didn't eat, and...
Yeah.
When you say you went away, where'd you go? You like a hole in the ground? Where did you go?
Yeah, where do you got to go to lose weight?
Well, I just did it. They still hadn't offered it to me, you know? They still hadn't said that it was my role. But I just thought, fuck it, I'm gonna make them know that it's my role. So I went away, and I saw them now and again. But we'd made that movie together, and Andrew had an office in Soho in London that I would drop into now and again. So I just didn't see them for a wee while. Just like shed loads of weight because I was young and it was easier to do then, you know.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
And I was a nasty drinker back in the day, and I remember I just started drinking like white wine and clear stuff, you know, instead of the alcoholic sort of dieting, you know.
Right.
I just drink the clear ones, you know,
Yeah.
and it seemed to work actually to a degree. Anyway, I lost all the weight, and then I went back in to see them, and I think they were like, okay, because I looked more right then. I was more sort of emaciated and stuff. But I mean, it was the most amazing experience making that film too.
By the way, that film just took the world by, I was going to say surprise, but it just took it by storm, really. I feel like that movie kind of shifted the way, for a while there, the way people made movies, because it was very edgy, and obviously it was very raw and had a lot, but it wasn't just for the sake of it. There was kind of a point to all of it, and there was something deeper happening. It was very cool. Sean, by the way, I can see the wheel is turning. You're just hoping, like, God, Trainspotting the musical. If there's any way that Ewan could find a way to get you involved
5, 6,
with that.
7, 8, heroin here, and then it's more heroin there.
Sean, now,
and
by
then
the
more
way,
heroin
if Danny, that's really heroin, the song. If Danny decides to do it, you go in, and this time maybe you wouldn't bring your own keys.
Wait, Ewan, speaking of that, when you guys did the drugs in the movie, it was like, both, incredible to watch just as actors, but just like it looks so real. Like I can't imagine. Like, did Danny ever talk you through like
it was hardcore.
What the experience was for a hardcore? I want to ask you if you actually did it to get into character, but like,
yeah.
How did you get there? Because it did look so real.
By saying I don't want to ask you, by the way, I know it's a soft ask. But
totally just an ask, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an ask, yeah.
It really is.
I'm not going to ask you. I'm just going to put you in a difficult position, but go ahead, Ewan.
No, it's quite an interesting point because I didn't do heroin. I've never done heroin, but I did think about it. And I thought, I don't want to do heroin addicts a disservice by getting it wrong. Or, So I did cross my mind. And I did say to Danny...
I mean, you don't want to disrespect the heroin.
Right.
You don't
want to, Officer, I was just researching.
I was just trying not to disrespect the addicts.
What do you mean? Why do I have a lighter under this spoon? Do you not know what I'm...
I start shooting in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I brought it up and I said, look, do you think we should do it? And I really thought about it because I thought, well, John, our writer, he's a doctor. Like, he could do it to us properly, so that we don't die and stuff. He could probably administer the...
God. Oh, my God.
Yeah, right? So that we were safe-ish. And, but it just became apparent that was ridiculous. That was just really a disrespectful idea to the people we were working with. Yeah. And we went up to Glasgow and we worked with this group of recovering addicts called the Carlton Athletic Club, and they're a group of, it was predominantly guys then, and they have soccer teams, and they're all ex-junkies, but they have these football competitions, and they're 5-a-side competitions, and they kicked our ass. Like the 5 actors, of the young, we got our asses handed to us by all these ex-junkies. But once we started working with those guys, and we had this guy Eamon who was our advisor on set, and he took us to some meetings, and I started listening to all these guys. And, I saw guys who'd been sober a long time, clean a long time, and then some guys who just, who were still in withdrawal. And I felt like once I met those guys and saw what was going on in their eyes, I thought it would be just massively disrespectful to not have all your faculties together. So it was from then on, we just... we didn't take heroin.
Ewan, what was the what was the feedback from the junkie community? Was it positive response to the film?
Yeah,
I'm actually kind of serious.
No, there was. I had there was a backlash on the film because people said it, thought it glorified drug taking, and I don't think so, and I've never thought so, but some people did think that. And I met a couple. I remember I was passing a homeless guy in Soho one night, and he'd seen the movie, and he was just like, you're one of us, brother. Come on, he was totally on the wrong side of the fence, He was like, yeah, fucking come on. Oh, dear. Yeah.
Wow. I guess it's better than getting stopped by the gang that loves Star Wars, right?
What are you saying?
Yeah.
We'll be right back. This episode is brought to you in part by CarMax. When it comes to selling your car, you want an offer you can count on. And that's where our friends at CarMax come on in. At CarMax, you can get an offer for your car in less than 2 minutes at CarMax.com. And this is no roundabout in the neighborhood, approximate ballpark estimate. This is a real, straight up, true blue offer that you can count on. Your offer is tailored to your vehicle based on the make, model, mileage, condition, year, trim level, color, you name it. Then CarMax crunches all that data with algorithmic awesomeness to deliver a custom offer that is truly unique to your car. And it's good for 7 days so you can shop it around with confidence. So whether you're selling your car or trading in, start with an online offer in 2 minutes or less at CarMax.com. CarMax! Car selling reimagined! Thanks to Native for their support. I love the sun this time of year, but when it comes to protecting my skin, my delicate, white, pale Irish skin, that's a whole other story. Some sunscreens always leave me feeling sticky or greasy after applying, but thanks to Native sunscreen, I get both face and body protection that's lightweight and doesn't leave me feeling sticky or greasy. With Native, you get broad spectrum SPF 30 mineral sunscreens that don't leave heavy, greasy sunscreen feel. Native offers lightweight, non-greasy formulas that are easy to spread and blend seamlessly in all skin tones, leaving a matte finish with 0 streaks. Get the scents of summer like coconut and pineapple, rosé, or for those with sensitive skin like me, try the unscented. All Native sunscreen is made from plant and mineral-based ingredients like naturally derived non-nano zinc oxide. Native has your back with face and body formulas. Native's face sunscreen is made with avocado oil, and their body sunscreen contains vitamin E. I love the Native products because usually with other products, it gets on your hands and then it's stuck on your hands. And then, you touch your eyes, you touch your food, you touch all of that. But on Native, I don't feel it. I don't feel the greasy, sticky anything, so I don't know what's even there. Protect your skin with Native's mineral-based sunscreens. Go to nativedeo.com/smartless or use promo code SMARTLESS at checkout to get 20% off your first order. That's nativedeo.com/smartless or use promo code SMARTLESS at checkout for 20% off your first order.
Now, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. There have been a number of times in my life where, not unlike a lot of other people, I found myself getting kind of stuck focusing on a problem instead of a solution. And I keep bearing down on this thing and it came to me because I would just keep going, well, this thing is happening and this thing is happening and this thing is happening. And it felt like every time I did that, the thing that was happening grew and grew. And it was possibly because I was just giving it so much more oxygen than actually giving oxygen to what I needed to, which was finding a solution to it. And it's, every time that I've gotten to that place and I realize that, it's such a relief. And sometimes it takes talking to somebody else, but it can be really tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when you're faced with a challenge in life. But you can learn. And when you do learn how to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. And for the most part, I've had a therapist who has helped me become a better problem solver and get to that point, making it easier for me to accomplish my goals, no matter how big or small. So if you are thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient and accessible and affordable and entirely online. You get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey, and you switch therapists at any time if you want. And I can just tell you, again, my experience with therapy in this way has been such an unbelievably revealing and, in a lot of ways, just relieving experience. So when you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/smartless today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/smartless.
And now back to the show.
I just finished Obi-Wan, and it's so fucking good. You're so great in it. I love that.
That's good.
How did they get James Earl Jones to come back to do the voice of Vader? I mean, that's crazy.
I know, amazing. I'm just glad they did. It's so amazing. We had such a good time doing it. It was a long time since we shot episode 3. It was 2003, and
yeah.
But it felt good, It felt quite good to come. I was in a much better place with it. And because our prequels came out and they sort of universally weren't liked by, and it was all pre-social media and everything. So the sort of voice that we heard were the critics' voices, and they didn't like them much. And so it was pretty disappointing at the time.
But the fans liked them, though. That was the thing. I feel like the fans liked them.
For the story.
And you're right. Boy, that's an interesting sort of distinction that you've made, that we do live in a time now where the critics' voices have just been completely drowned out, haven't they?
Yeah, they're just aggregated now. It's just Rotten Tomatoes, period.
Yeah.
Right, but even that doesn't really matter as much as what social media is saying. And that's not necessarily critics, it's people, right? I mean, it's other people.
I think so, yeah.
Do you, that's interesting. So anyway, it was hard to get back into it, or it was easy, or?
Well, I think when I finished the third one, I wouldn't have, if you'd asked me then, I'd be like, okay, I was always happy to be in it, and I was always grateful to be involved in something that big and to be part of the legend of it, because I loved it when I was a kid. I loved those films.
Yeah,
I mean,
who didn't?
Yeah.
I was 7, I think 6 or 7 when the first one came out.
Same.
And just you can't, it's in you somehow. And I know it is, because when I was working on this series and I was faced with Vader for the first time in all his scary majesty. I was totally knocked the wind out of me. It was quite scary seeing him coming at you. And stormtroopers, like I never acted with stormtroopers on the prequels, so we did scenes with stormtroopers, and I was like a boy again, just like deep inside me.
And talk about a huge difference in. I mean, I know there was a gang of work between Shallow Grave and Trainspotting and then the Star Wars work. There's tons of stuff you did in between there, but I mean, the difference between probably like a 28-day shoot on those earlier films and then Star Wars, it'd take you probably a half a year to shoot those movies and working with green screens and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I would imagine your answer to which do you like better, you'd probably say, little bits of each, but it's a totally different process, isn't it?
It's a different process, and it teaches you that you're always challenged, aren't we? By every job we do, there's some challenge that it throws at you. And in those prequels, it was very much the challenge of like being trying to be believable with this dialogue in front of a blue curtain, for 4 months.
Hey, is it true that George Lucas didn't give you guys the script until like 2 days before every scene or something like that? Is that true?
No.
Okay, thanks.
It was one of those, I had to go to the studio and sit in a room sort of locked in to read it.
Oh, I see.
But we had the script.
You know what made me laugh recently? This made me laugh so hard. I read somewhere, I saw you in an interview or something, saying you used the Force, the Jedi Force, to open automated doors at like supermarkets and stuff.
But only if people are watching. If I think somebody's watching, I give it a little.
You do a little like wave in front of the door. That is so funny.
I don't get anything away here. Just
now you can go around to stores and supermarkets and movie theaters and stuff like that, or do you get tackled by fans and stuff, or do you just kind of get stopped and say, "Oh, hey, I really like your stuff, and would you take a picture?" And you kind of carry on.
Are they nuts because of all the Star Wars stuff?
Well, because of everything. Really.
Oh, of everything. But I mean,
well, I think it's a really interesting.
You've got this great level of fame, I think, like this perfect level of fame where your celebrity can get films financed and be a recruiting element for other cast elements and directors and stuff like that. Yet you can still go out and have maybe could find some anonymity if you just kind of dress right. You can kind of.
I just tried to just do my life and not to a point. And then there's a point. It's always it's unavoidable when you're somewhere. When you go to do press somewhere and they know the hotel you're staying in, and that's unavoidable. And I guess that I have to learn to be better with that. I'm not great with the autograph hunters who stand outside your hotel because I don't really believe they're
just looking to make money.
They don't really want the autograph. They want to sell the autographs. And I find that gets my ire up a bit. But
Now, wait,
hang on,
Jason.
Sean, can I just jump in and say my son Abel, who's 11 years old, and I've never done this, but I'm going to put you on the spot, Ewan. He asked me to ask you. He was wondering, why did you accept the role of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Like, was there a reasoning besides the money?
That's from Abel.
Abel just asked me. He just
texted
That's brilliant.
That's hysterical.
He asked me because he knew that you were on the show today, and he is he is such a massive fan, Abel. He is freaking out that you're here today. And he left yesterday to go up and spend a couple days with his mom, and he is like freaking out. He knew you were coming on today, and then he just texted me that, knowing that you're on now.
Cute. Well, I imagine you didn't probably even need to read the script, right? I mean, the yes was probably automatic, given.
I know. I really had to think about it because it came quite shortly after that Trainspotting period, and I really, by that time, I was so full of myself. Like I was like this. I'm Danny Boyle's actor. I'm like fucking urban grunge.
Here I go.
I am the oasis of the British movie industry. Right. And then when the Star Wars came along, I thought, I don't know if I want to do this. This isn't me. Right. And also I worried about sort of. I suppose I was worried about typecasting or something like that, or
because you're going to be so famous from it.
It's just going to be so big, I think.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, I don't know. It didn't really. I was so into being the sort of anti-hero, if you like. I live in America now, but for a long time I didn't, and I thought I'm going to do it. I'm like a indie British actor is what I felt like. And I felt, more than anything, I felt like I was Danny Boyle's actor. And I felt that sort of defined me.
Yeah.
I really did. And so I asked everybody, I spoke to him. My uncle was in all 3 of the original ones. He played Wedge Antilles. My uncle's an actor called Dennis Lawson. And I asked him, and I said, what do you think? And he said, if you want a career after 30, don't do it. That's what he said.
Oh, really?
What did Danny Boyle say? Did you ask Danny Boyle?
I did ask Danny Boyle, yeah. I think he said that I should do it. But in the end, it just got closer and closer. Like, the closer I got to it, I remember doing, going to recalls and screen tests, and then meeting George, and it got down to like 2 or 3 of us, I think. And by that time, I just thought, I just was so attached to the idea of it from when I was a kid that I thought, to get a chance to be that character and to be the younger Alec Guinness is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But you were also signing up for what, 2 or 3 at a minimum? Yeah.
3.
But the other thing is, like, you asked your uncle, but the last thing you should do is ask another actor any advice on whether or not you should do something. I think it's like the worst thing to do because they can't help but put their own fucked up, reasoning into it or their own desire or whatever. They can't help it.
Right.
I remember one
Didn't
time.
ask me to do it.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't ask me. Right. And I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it even if they did. I remember years ago you were at the Golden Globes. And I remember because Bradley Cooper at the time I think he was on Alias maybe. And so he was there. He had gone. He was like, I'm going to the Golden Globes tonight. And we lived in this same. And so then he came back and he was like, man, he and I were just talking about this the other day because I told him you were on the show. And he goes, man, I just saw Ewan McGregor was there tonight and he had like eyeliner on. And he was there and he goes, and he would look so fucking cool. And he's like, and we could never pull that off. We could never do that. And he was right. We were like,
you had eyeliner on at the Globes?
And he was so cool. Ewan was. And we were like, fuck, man, we could never do this.
I did that film Velvet Goldmine with Todd Haynes, and I just loved it. And I really always had this rock and roll fantasy, that I probably still have a little bit, that wouldn't it be amazing to be like a rock and roller on tour and stuff. And I don't think that, for a while I did, I wore makeup and nail varnish and stuff, but only for a little while. And I liked it. And I've always liked, like, this isn't probably what you should do, so I'm going to do it, at the Globes. Maybe it's not the best, but anyway. It was
by the way, you pulled it off. It was very cool. And I get it, too, because I'm also a contrarian, I think, by heart, by nature. And I'm always like, if everybody else is doing it, then that means I absolutely cannot do that thing.
Yeah.
Often to my own, disservice or whatever. It's not always the best thing, but I don't know if I'm sensing that there's a little bit of that in you as well.
I know there's definitely. I'm like that with movies that are hugely successful. I'm like, well, I'm not going to watch it, and then I'll see it 8 years later, and I'm like, that film's really good. I was like, right, yeah, that film was really good 8 years ago.
I know. I do the same thing. I do that with movies. I do that with TV shows. I was like, hey, man, during the pandemic, I was like, have you guys seen The American Office? It's really good. and I'm friends with a lot of people on the show. I'm friends.
Yeah. Right.
Like Krasinski, and I had to be like, I'd actually never watched it. And I'm like, it's really, really good.
I did that with Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad, I watched like 2 years ago.
I feel like I'm going to be saying that about The Sopranos when I get that watch.
Yeah, I've never seen The Sopranos.
I did that. The Sopranos was my one years later. Years later. Did you not watch it?
Not yet.
It's really good.
I mean, like one here or one there. Yeah.
Ewan, this is a true story. One day when we were, Jason and I were working together years ago, he came after a weekend and he goes, hey, this is a true story. He goes, hey, Blues Brothers is pretty good. And I go, this is like 2004. 2004. And I go, Blues Brothers, the 1978 film? Yeah, it's pretty good.
I just figured everyone had sort of missed it, like me. Everyone's like me, right?
That's
the narcissist, Captain Narcissism in me.
That's hysterical.
That's funny.
Ewan, where'd the motorcycle passion come from?
I've always ridden motorbikes since I was I wanted to ride motorbikes since I was a teenager, and my parents would never let me. And so it was just after I finished drama school, I realized that I could do what I wanted, and so I got my first little motorbike in London, and I used to park outside, and when they came to visit me, there was a lovely girl upstairs called Elska. I used to take all my stuff up to my riding gear, my helmets and gloves, and I'd stash them in her place so they wouldn't see them, and pretend that. Anyway, that went on for a while, and I started riding. I just love it. I still love it as much as I ever did, and I rode everywhere in London. I'd use it to get about, and I'd go for trips on it, and I met my great mate Charlie Boorman when we made a film together called Serpent's Kiss in Ireland, and we both had just had babies, and we were both into bikes. He grew up riding motorbikes, and so we just we did a lot of track days together, and we were involved in a race team, not riding, but we were the sort of glam squad for this little motorcycle racing team,
like road bikes.
Road bikes, yeah, like track racing, like the
wow.
And then I read this book written by Ted Simon, who wrote a beautiful book called Jupiter's Travels in the 70s, and he was a journalist, I think, for the Sunday Times, and he decided he wanted to travel the world, and he wasn't a biker, but he just thought that's the best way to see the world, as and he's right, it really is the best way. There's something about it. So he rode this. He got a Triumph, and he rode around the world. And it took him 4.5 years. And his book he starts like 3.5 years in, and he's run out of petrol, and he's sitting underneath a tree in India somewhere, and his bike's propped up there because he's got no gas. And he just said, I'm sitting here safe in the knowledge that someone will come and help. And that's sort of how the book starts. And it had taken him 3 years to realize that was a truth, And there's something beautiful about his writing in the book, and it just sort of boiled away in the back of my brain. Yeah. Until one day I was thinking of Charlie and I were always looking for somewhere to ride, and we thought we'd go to Spain from London on some sports tours, and we'd take our wives on the back, and then maybe they could fly home and we'll race back. And I just started thinking, well, I don't know. And then I would start looking further afield, and I got a world map, and I thought we could go to China and back. That would be cool. And then I thought, well, what would just come back along the same route? And so I kept looking right on the map, and it was sort of a direct line round to America and Canada, and I just thought, well, we could do that. So that was our first trip in 2004.
Wait, you went all the way around the world?
We went from it's officially not a round the world trip because it's only the northern hemisphere, but we rode from London round to New York. So we rode from London.
Oh my God!
And we went in the Channel Tunnel to France, and then we rode to Far Eastern Russia and Siberia. And then we got a plane with the bikes to Anchorage, and then we rode from Anchorage to New York. And that was 4.5 months. And we shot it. We shot it as a documentary with this amazing journalistic cameraman, Claudio von Planter, who's our guy, and he just rode with us. And
fake name.
So a third bike. That was three
bikes. And then we had a couple of pickup trucks that we saw once in a while, and we'd and then we did Africa. We did the whole African continent in 2007, and we did from Tierra del Fuego, which is the tip of South America, to Los Angeles, and just before the pandemic in 2019 on electric bikes, on the electric Harley Davidson.
All of these are filmed?
Yeah, I saw footage of that where you guys were in Chile, I think, going across the flat, in those electric
Patagonia.
bikes. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. They're all on Apple. They're 3 documentaries: long way round, long way down, and long way up.
Okay, excellent.
That's the order to watch them.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's great.
I have a question. Do you?
Okay, go ahead, sir, and state your name first.
Where are you calling from?
Do you and Jason, do you guys ever get mistaken for each other? Because I always thought you guys kind of look similarly.
I've always thought
my wife wants us to play brothers forever.
Me too. I've always said that.
Because you're beautiful, Ewan. You're really, really handsome.
What a compliment to Jason that is. That's an incredible compliment.
No,
to Jason.
I see it. I definitely no.
Ewan, do you feel like playing his much younger brother? You could.
Let's do it. No. I would definitely play his kid brother.
Twins.
Just sort of like, hey,
Jay, you could be his dad almost. I swear to God, let me look.
Will,
move
can
your
I talk
camera.
to you for a second?
Move your camera a little bit.
I think we should put it out there, Jason. It should happen, don't you think?
Yes, please.
We should do some
I'm ready.
indie brothers thing.
You, and how's your American accent? Is it quite good?
I think it's okay.
Of course it's good.
Yeah, I think
this
it's
guy's
all
been
right.
working his whole life.
I worked with Liz Hemmelstein. Did anyone work with Liz Hemmelstein?
No.
Well, you probably don't have to work with
We
someone
don't
for
have
your
to,
American
yeah.
accents, but I do.
Well, I'm Canadian. I had to work.
Will, wait. Did you really work on getting rid of your outs and abouts?
No, I didn't.
Out and about?
Out and about.
Did you?
No, I did, but there were certain things that, like just tried to get rid of.
Sure,
So that I didn't go up at the end of every
You just have to take the
sentence.
question mark off every sentence. Yeah.
And I didn't say house, but I have. I used to do. It's an absolutely brutal day for motor car racing.
That's good.
I used to do that.
Is that Jackie Stewart?
you
not
do your
bad.
Jackie Stewart?
Yeah, it's Jackie Stewart. It's Jackie Stewart. Yeah.
Jackie Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
bad.
still knocking about. He's still at all the races, Jackie.
Is he? Is he still around?
Yeah. He seems to be very present.
Now, are you a golf fan?
No, I just was interested in your outfit, your golfing outfit that you were discussing
Yeah,
at the
it's
beginning
not
with the
that great.
funny trouser thing at the front. I
It
didn't-
wasn't bad.
How do you all play golf?
Sean does not. Will and I do.
Jason, I
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you play any at all?
I grew up playing because in Scotland everybody plays, and then I've done it from time to time, and I can never get over the fact that I'm not as good as I think I am. So
That's all
I
of
always
us.
end up in horrible mood. Is that just the way it is?
That's all of us. But then, Rory McIlroy, he says, don't let golf affect your attitude. Let your attitude affect your golf.
Oh.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I'm good at golf. If I could just get out of my way, I think I've.
No,
probably
you stick
be a
to
good
motorcycles
player.
and rock and roll. You're a stud. You're a man's man. Will and I, we're just golfers.
Yeah, we're delicate
But
golfers.
here it's different. I feel like it's different. There's a sort of. I don't know if it's different. It's always struck me as being different here. In Britain, it seems to be a little bit, feels a bit more elitist, and
Here it's elitist.
here I feel like everybody plays golf, and golf clubs are. I don't know, because the big golf clubs here in LA are so expensive, aren't they? Like you have to be.
Yeah, it's a real status thing. I'm not proud of it. I just love the game.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think the thing that I struggle with the most with golf are a lot of the people who do play golf. And I'm sure we're going to get a lot of pushback from people online.
From the golfing community.
And now we've enraged the heroin addicts and now the golfing community. And if they ever got together,
There should be a golf championship for heroin addicts, and that would be.
They just fall asleep as they're
It
putting.
would be amazing. But you do have there is that sort of part of golf that does have this very sort of elitist and kind of exclusionary feel vibe to it of people who are completely out of touch. And so you never want to become that. That's the part that I don't like.
Yeah,
as
but
well,
I mean,
just
it's like
talking about.
if you like doing it, like who don't, right?
No,
Who
I know,
cares?
of course. But you just hope that you don't become that,
I think you're right. I think that seems to be like the golf club side of things. And
Yes.
then, because the idea of being part of a club, it lends itself to that anyway, doesn't it? It's something you have to pay into to feel special at your club. But the actual game of golf, when you're on the beautiful fairway, is
Really
an amazing
challenging.
game, yeah,
And
no question.
I mean, Will, what do I grind or what? I mean, I'm
Yeah,
out there
you-
just trying to really shoot a low number.
He's not even really fun to play with
No,
anymore.
not at all.
Oh, you too serious about it?
Yeah, way
Well,
too
yeah,
serious.
I'm only out there for the
And
challenge.
the
of it.
slowest golfer in California.
I'm speeding up. I'm trying to get faster.
You are speeding up. You are getting
See,
better.
I find that difficult. If there's someone behind me
Yeah.
on the tee waiting, I get
Yeah,
so
with his
stressed.
fist on his hip. I know.
Oh, don't worry. He doesn't
Yeah.
get stressed.
I tried golfing in Ireland once with my brother.
Did you?
Yeah, one of my brother Kevin. I played golf with him in Ireland, and they didn't have carts, so he'd carry our bags everywhere. And I said, "I'm out." And then I golfed.
Wait, that's when you came out? You're out of. Sorry,
Yeah, got
On
it.
a golf
Sorry.
club in Ireland? Wow.
okay, I'm out.
This seems
What?
like a good spot.
Jesus Christ!
yeah, and I screamed it.
So wait, how come we haven't heard of Kevin before? How many siblings do you have, Sean?
We have heard of
aside from
Dennis,
Tracy.
Kevin, Mike, who passed away sadly, my sister Tracy, and me,
Kevin, you, Tracy,
and Dennis.
And Dennis.
Dennis, who's no longer with us.
No,
Mike
Mike.
passed away.
Michael. Who
You've
passed
been friends
away, sadly.
with Sean for a long time, by the way. This is embarrassing for you,
Will,
No, that's-
Will, why don't you tell me the name of your brother real quick?
Chuck. He always
That
does.
was pretty fast. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
You're getting faster.
My
That's
other
good.
sister is here. She has a Scottish name. Her name is Shanley, and
Yeah, and
she's
the other one is
upstairs.
tennis.
Yeah.
Tennis.
Tannis.
That's my
Tennis.
joke. That's my joke.
But Shanley is here.
And,
yeah, go
and,
ahead.
and then I played golf with Jimmy Burrows, who was on our podcast. And,
Great golfer.
The great
and
Jerry
Alan
Burrows.
Thicke, who sadly passed away as well. But that was really fun. That was in Cabo San Lucas. And I did really well.
Okay. Ewan McGregor's with us.
Yeah.
And he's joining us from a very handsome kitchen. Where is your house there, Ewan?
I'm in my tiny house. I've got a little tiny house in my garden, and
looks handsome.
It's just like quiet in here because there's no one in here. So,
Are you in California?
I'm in California. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
SmartLess listener, we get support from ZipRecruiter. Hiring is challenging, especially right now when you have so much on your plate. And luckily, there's one place you can go where hiring is simple and fast and smart. It's a place where growing businesses connect to qualified candidates. And that place is ZipRecruiter.com/SmartLess. ZipRecruiter does the work for you. Okay, I like the sound of that. ZipRecruiter uses its powerful technology to find and match the right candidates.
You're yelling. You're yelling again.
I know, but ZipRecruiter uses its powerful technology to find and match the right candidates up with your job.
Yeah, I'm understanding what you're saying. It's just really loud.
Okay, well, how do I put it? You can easily review these recommended candidates and invite your top choices to apply.
It's too emphatic. It's not that it's loud, it's just emphatic.
All right. Let me tell you this. Is this emphatic? ZipRecruiter is so effective that 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
It's coming off angry almost now.
But it's a big deal. I mean, Sean, when I tell you all of these things, no wonder ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2 satisfaction ratings as of January 1st, 2022.
I'm just giving you friendly feedback.
Listen, Sean, I do voiceover for a living, and I know that sometimes...
Pick one that's quieter then.
You have to... Well, no, sometimes you have to sell it. Sometimes you have to sell it right now. To try ZipRecruiter for free, my listener can go to ZipRecruiter.com/SmartLess. That's ZipRecruiter.com/SmartLess. ZipRecruiter.com/SmartLess. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
All right, back to the show.
So you've lived in America for a long time. You're like 5 years, 6 years, something?
I moved here in 2008.
Okay.
And I became an American 2 years ago.
Welcome.
And,
Welcome.
I love it here. Thank you. I just love it. I love living here, and I no intention to not live here. I just love it. I love it.
Now, what was that process like? What did you have to know? You have to know like the Star Spangled Banner or basic American history, or how does that go?
It's a bit. Well, it's probably a bit like a driving test. You know, when you learn all this stuff, and then as soon as they say you can drive a car, you forget all of it. So it's a lot of American history. How the political system works here, which is difficult for a Brit because it's quite complicated, it seems. And then you got to know names of like your local
senators and then congressmen,
Congress people, senators and stuff like that. Yeah. And then history and dates and stuff. They ask you dates of like when things were written and what have you.
Oh wow!
I did it in 2007. I became I did the same thing, and I remember they did the thing. You had to remember which were the original 13 states, et cetera, and all those sort of things. So I studied. I wanted to get 100%. And the guy, it's really up to the discretion of the person who's giving you that final interview, right? It was anyway back then. And the guy he starts asking me a couple of questions, and then he could see that I knew what the answers were. He's like, okay, well, you got this. And he moves on. I was like, no. You're not moving on. I studied this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I had the same thing. Because you have to get 10 questions. No, you have to get 6 questions right out of 10.
Yeah.
That's it?
I got
pretty
got
easy.
6 right. Yeah. It's like 100. I think there's 100 potential questions, and they ask you 10, and you have to get at least 6 of them right. And so once you get 6 of them right, they go, okay, that's it. You're in. And I was like you. I was like, no, what are the other 4? I spent a lot of time learning this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Now, Ewan McGregor, talk to me about your domestic situation there. You got 1 kid, 2 kids, 1 wife, boyfriend. It doesn't matter. This is a real liberal show.
I'm recently married. I married this year to my love, Mary, Elizabeth Winstead.
Oh, congratulations.
You got married this year?
I got married this year.
Nice.
I have 4 daughters with my ex-wife, Ev.
Yeah.
And Mary and I have a 1-year-old son. So I have 5 children.
Amazing.
That's so great.
Yeah. So I'm really lucky and very much in love, and I'm very, very happy. And
how old's your son?
Yeah, I'm blessed with all my kids. He's just turned 1.
Wow.
Okay, I have a 2-year-old. I have 2 older boys from my first, and I have a 2-year-old as well.
Yeah.
How old are your girls?
My eldest girl, Clara's 26.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 20-year-olds, Esther and Jamian, and my youngest daughter, Anouk, is 11. So I've got all ages, yeah. I love it so much. I love it so much being a dad. I really do.
Now, did you think you were going to love it as much as you did? Or, I mean, I thought, yeah, this is going to be cool. And then I'm just like, just a baby. I mean, I cry watching commercials if there's a little kid in it. I just love it.
I think I do. I think I was totally always, I had Clara when I was 24 years old. And I was just always, I always knew that I wanted children, and I really love it. I really do. It really makes me incredibly happy.
Quick math there. That puts you at 50?
51.
51.
When's your birthday? What sign are you? Sorry, I'm asking for a friend.
And then I want to know what your rising is.
What are you?
I'm born on the end of, I was the last day of March, 31st of March, 1971. So I'm an Aries. Aries. Where are you guys at? What ages are we here in the...
Oh, I'm just 35, but I think that we should probably
move on.
No,
I
Will doesn't. Will can't play older than 40.
I
tell
skew
him
30. I skew late 30s, but I'm 50. I'm 52. Sean and I are both 52. We're only a couple weeks apart.
Okay. I'm 53. I'm the adult here. Mm-hmm.
Okay, grown up. That's why you're so good at golf, because you're just that bit older than us.
Yeah, but I just don't hit it as far anymore.
Hey, tell me about, because I've seen, I think, everything you've ever done. By the way, I also auditioned for Down with Love. Still, I didn't get that.
Oh, yeah.
And
boy, this Make-A-Wish is going great with you.
Great average.
but tell me what it's like, because are you in Pinocchio coming out? Are you in it? Or is it like you voice it or you're in it?
I voice it. It's totally stop frame animation.
Wow. And that's Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's embarrassing. I had an experience. I don't know if you've ever done this. It's a sort of an actor's nightmare of being in a situation where you're absolutely unprepared. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened with this. I went to meet Guillermo, and I thought to discuss the role and to discuss what we were going to do with it. And I arrived, and I was in a sound studio in front of a mic with a lectern with the script on there, and he's behind the glass, and he's going, "Okay, let's start off with Q1."
What?
And I hadn't read the script because I just thought we were having a chat. So I was busy and I hadn't read it, and I started trying to do it. I just didn't tell him, and I thought I just have to go. So I started, and of course I had an idea of who Jiminy Cricket was, but it didn't seem to be anything like what I was reading on the page, and I didn't know what accent to use or what.
The sweating.
I almost was crying. I almost got to the point where I wanted to cry. I was so embarrassed, and I just asked him to come in the room after about 20. I did about 25 minutes of this nightmare. So he comes round into the room, and I went, "Look," I was really tearing up, and I went, I have to tell. I haven't read the script. I wasn't sent it. I thought we were having a discussion about, and it turned out, thank God, I hadn't been sent it. Although I didn't know that for absolute sure. But anyway, then he was just great, because he just went, "No, what you're doing is good," and he talked to me for about half an hour, and then we just went and we recorded the whole thing.
No way.
And then I read it, and we went back in. So it's been one of those things. You've probably all done them, when you go back several times, you go in and out, and. But I think it's going to be really... I love him, and I love his take on things, and so to be involved in this is really cool.
Yeah. Explain the whole... Will wants to do some voiceover work. Talk him through the process of it.
Hey, Ewan, so the crazy story... I told you guys this story about when I did Ratatouille, right? Did I tell you guys this?
I didn't know you were in that.
I was in that, and Brad Bird directed. So, similar thing. So I get a call. This is crazy that you just told this story. When was that? That was like at least 15 years ago, maybe more. We were doing, we were still doing original Arrested Development at the time. So anyway, he goes, they sent me the thing and they go, "You're going to go up to Disney to record this stuff." And I'm like, "Great, yeah, no problem." Like, I get up there. I guess it sent me materials, but I'm not sure. Either I didn't see it or ignored it or whatever. And I was not prepared for what I was walking into. Same thing. Walk into a soundstage, into a recording studio at Disney. Brad's there, and he's like, and he's in the booth with me, and they bring out all their. He's like, "You've seen all the art for your character, Horst, the sous chef." And I go, "Yeah, of course I've seen the art." And
this one's my favorite. Look at that.
And I'm looking at it, going, "Absorb everything, everything." You know, just. And I'm looking, and then he goes, "So obviously, and as you know, because Horst is German," and I'm like, "Yeah, right, because he's German." Sure. And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? And I'm thinking, I don't think I do a German apart from like what you do in a bar to a friend. I don't know. And he goes, and then he's like, "Okay, let's go." And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? Same thing. The panic, the sweat, the fucking, and he's right there. And Brad Bird, I revere the guy who made The Incredibles. He's a great director. He's gone on, it was super sweet guy. And I just did it. I just bullshitted my way through. I did this fucking, the movie exists to this day.
Oh my God.
Do it. 3, 2, 1. German accent. 3, 2, 1.
With this thumb, I killed 3 men.
That's pretty good. Now, Ewan, Jiminy Cricket, is he Scottish?
Yeah, sort of very like my voice, because I didn't really know what else to do. So he's very close to me, you know.
Did you go higher? Did you go higher at all? He's just small.
He's tiny, so I like...
He's wee.
I'm always shouting everything because everyone's so far away, you know. So it's a very shouty...
Really funny.
It's a very shouty performance. Pinocchio! Like
this
that.
summer, in his shoutiest performance to date, Ewan McGregor is...
Ewan, I want to hear a little bit of an American accent. Just for a second, just a little bit.
Hi, I'm Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Jason Bateman.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Right.
There's lots. I mean, there's so many
Too
American
manly.
accents, aren't there?
It's unbelievable, too.
Yeah, that was too...
Are you excited about something next? Because you always just pick the coolest stuff.
Yeah.
You always work the
And
greatest
do you
people.
like working that much?
I tell you what, that I've really learned that I like not working too. Now that we had the experience of being off for that year, you know, with lockdown, and I've never really been that great at not working. I like working and I enjoy it so much what we do, and but I realized that I was actually much better at not working than I thought I was. So now I've got this little boy and I'm with Mary, and I feel like I just want to. I do want to spend less time away and more time at home, and so this year I've done very little. I've done a lot of promotion for the Star Wars show this year, and I don't know exactly what I was supposed to be making. I had an experience that hasn't happened to me a lot, where I was going to be making a movie in Scotland, and so I sort of planned my year about making this movie in Scotland for the whole of the autumn, and it totally just disappeared. I was just texting the director one day about a question about something else, and he went, "Oh no, we're not doing it." I was like, "Oh, thanks for letting me know."
Wait,
So,
what about Moulin Rouge? Because you were so great in that. Would you ever do another musical?
Yes, totally. I loved it. And I did a musical on stage. After that, I did Guys and Dolls in London for 6 months.
Wow. That's right.
And I really liked it. It was what an amazing thing to do. It's quite something to get on stage and do something like that every night.
Burroughs, right? Abe Burroughs. Did Abe Burroughs write that?
Yeah, Abe Burroughs wrote that.
The guy
Abe
Jimmy Burroughs we were just talking about, who's on the show. He's our
okay.
friend. He's a great television director, one of the greatest. And his dad, Abe Burroughs, wrote it.
Oh, wow.
So when you're not being a great dad and a great husband, to fill your days, what would you do? Aside from being a dad and a husband, do you have any dumbass hobby like me and Will playing golf?
I do. I have always loved motorbikes and old car and VWs, like old Beetles and buses and stuff. So I'm a bit of a...
You're out there fixing them up and stuff?
Yeah, I like to potter. I'm not great. I'm not like a mechanic or anything, but I do faff around. I like faffing around in there, and I spend hours like in my shed.
Now, what is the goal when I see people working on engines and stuff? It's not just about the difference between making them run and not run. Isn't there like fine tune? Like you can make it run a little bit quieter, or make it run a little faster. Like what are you out there? What do you do when you're pfeffering?
Generally, just trying to make them move.
So it is about on or off
with the kind of stuff that I like.
Yeah.
It's not that fine tuning really. The VWs are pretty simple, and I just love them. I love them so much. And
how many you got?
I have 3 Beetles, and I've got 2 buses. I got I have an old 1960 Rolls Royce that I love.
Did you see the new VW electric car?
Yeah, I am.
It's pretty cool, huh?
I'm actually doing. I'm working with VW,
No
helping
way.
them promote the new
wow.
electric bus. Yeah,
Wow.
Because I did that big trip on an electric motorbike, and I've been an enthusiast of VWs for years, and so we got in touch, and we've made a couple of commercials like with my old stuff, and moving into this new electric bus.
Don't they own Porsche now?
They always have.
Yeah, so many Porsche and Lamborghini and
Yeah.
Ducati.
VW owns Audi, and Porsche.
I drive the new Audi.
Who's got a new Audi?
Yeah, I drive the new Audi all-electric vehicle. It is my favorite car of all time.
It's less written, Sean. Still
Yeah,
rolling,
Sean.
less written, and action.
No, it really is my favorite car of all time.
Ewan, what's the ad that you do for the travel company? I love, hang on, I just have to say this.
Expedia.
Expedia.
Yeah.
As a voiceover guy, I love your intonation on, it's not about the things we have, it's about what is it? What's the final line? It's the places we go.
Well, are we going to live our lives and regret the things that we didn't buy or the places we didn't go?
Or the places we didn't go. And the way you say it, I fucking love it, man. It's so good, right? 'Cause they play it on sports all the time. It's so good.
I like that.
None of my Hyundai reads.
Yeah.
No, Jason, on Hyundai, I don't.
On Hyundai, it's your journey. You don't like the way I say it's your journey. The way it really hit your. No.
Ewan, when you're on the Expedia, so good.
Have you heard my lemons? Have you heard my lemons one?
Lemons.
I like the lemons one.
Lemons.
Lemons.
Yes, you come in on that lemons,
I haven't
right?
heard that.
Lemons.
Yeah.
Lemons. It's very difficult.
Is it wrong that I really like? I think there was a time back in the Trainspotting days where I would have been like, "Fuck that! I'm not doing a fucking advert." and now I'm like,
I love
"Can I
the
do
way he
another
was really-
Expedia? Can we
he's
get in
really
touch with Expedia?"
gnashing his teeth about doing Star Wars, and now it's just like we're going through all the Well, listen,
it's the best,
times
right?
change.
Bring it on! I'm like,
Perfect. Yeah.
It's the absolute best. I love doing it too. It's so good, and we're available.
We're available for limes.
Ewan, God, we could talk to you forever. It's so great having you here
That
on the
was
show.
a very
really
fast
enjoyed it.
hour.
Very fast. God, you're a delight.
I needn't have been so nervous. I was very nervous before. I don't know why. I guess because
no.
I haven't met you all, and I was impressed to be on your show, and but I've had a great time.
I'd
Thanks for
love
having
to
me.
meet you in person one day. That would be great, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look for something where we got a brother thing going.
I think we should definitely do that. I'd love that.
We're gonna
I really
find
would.
something.
I'd watch the hell out of that,
I
right,
would
Sean?
watch it, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we'd watch
Repeat.
the hell out of
All
it.
right, guys.
Ewan, such a pleasure. I love you. I'm such a huge fan. Thank you
Yeah.
for being here.
Thank you
Really,
so much.
really.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for doing our show, buddy.
Thanks for doing it. Great
Cheers,
to meet
guys.
you.
All right.
Take care.
Bye, Ewan. See ya.
Bye.
Wow.
We have had nice people on this show,
Yeah.
but
Many.
like really nice people. I feel like that might be the gold right there.
Yeah,
as
there
far
you
as
go.
just nice, sort of like
Real.
infectious, positive energy.
I was nervous.
I knew,
nervous when he
Sean,
walked
I've
on.
been sitting on this one for a while, and I was like, oh, Sean is going to flip.
I was-
out.
because
Wait,
I've
just
been-
because he played Obi-Wan Kenobi?
No,
Not
but then
just-
in those movies, but then he just came out with the series Obi-Wan Kenobi, and also just
Right.
like I've seen Trainspotting is one of my all-time favorite movies. Like that's one of the movies that made me want to be an actor.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. I just always assumed that that's a really good dude.
yeah.
And there it is, sure
And
enough.
you go, yeah.
I had heard a couple of people just sort of anecdotally say that he's just the coolest, nicest, realest person, and
Yeah, I love
God,
him.
It was great. I know. It's so great. I love his accent is so great, and he's Scottish. And we were talking about the Open, which was played in up in St Andrews, in Scotland.
Yep.
Not to be confused with the Canadian. There is another St Andrews, but that's called St Andrews by the sea. By the sea.
Really well worked in there, Will. That was good. Have you been sitting on that since we talked about?
No, it just occurred to me, and I was like, wow, how am I gonna get there? Anyway, bye.
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 SmartLess is 100% organic and artisanally handcrafted by Michael Grant Terry, Rob Armjarv, and Bennett Barbago.
SmartLess.
Our next episode will be out in a week wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can listen to it right now early on Amazon Music, or early and ad-free by subscribing to Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wondery app.